सा फर्क है कुछ होने में और बहुत कुछ होने में। इतना सा फर्क है एक बार सोच के छोड़ देने में और लग के कर दिखाने में। मान लेने में कि जिंदगी ऐसे ही कटेगी और सुबह 4 बजे उठ के सोचने में ये अभी तो बस शुरुआत है। किसी मैगजीन को हाथ में लेने में और उसी मैगजीन के कवर पेज पे होने में इतना सा ही तो फर्क है। वीआईपी सीट में और उसकी पिछली सीट में इतना सा ही तो फर्क है। वो जिसका मैदान ही खुला आसमान है वही कल जमीन पर तो था। पूछोगे तो बताएगा वो पंछी ये एक दायरे में सिमटने में और पूरी दुनिया को दायरा बनाने में बस इतना सा फर्क है। इतना कितना है? इतना है या इतना है? जो नापेगा वो जाने कि जहां धरती और आसमान मिलते हैं, नानकुर से दूर, अगर मगर शायद से दूर, वहां भी दोनों में फर्क बस इतना सा है। धरती और सातवें आसमान में फर्क बस इतना सा है। ये एक अंतर प्रेरणा है। ये हमारी, आपकी, हम सब की अंतर प्रेरणा है। एक कदम, एक छलांग, एक बाजी, एक गहरी सांस और एक ललकार खुली हवाओं में कि हाँ मैं बना हूं उन फिजाओं के लिए, कि हाँ मैं बना हूं उन ऊंचाइयों के लिए जो ऊंची तो बहुत है पर नामुमकिन भी नहीं, क्योंकि मुमकिन और नामुमकिन में बस इतना सा फर्क है। धूप छांव में फर्क बस इतना सा है। तो बस चलिए फ्रेंचाइज इंडिया के साथ ये फर्क मिटा देते हैं। फ्रेंचाइज इंडिया, 20 years of ideas.
Good morning, friends, and welcome. Welcome to this Sunday morning webinar with Franchise India. I am Gaurav, Marya, Chairman of Franchise India Group. So, friends, this is a very, very special webinar which we do every Sunday morning, talking about how you can build your successful business. From choosing the right business to actually managing and running the business, we talk about all that. So, this is a series which we started called Successpreneur. And this series really, was started with the idea that how can we help with our thought process, our experience, our learnings over 25 years. Franchise India has been around for 25 years and helping people to get into entrepreneurship, start their own business. And we have seen a lot of people really get into business, but don't make it successful one. And that really is a point of worry. And that's why I started this series to add more value when you're thinking about starting your business, how you should really select the right opportunity and also really manage that opportunity. And that both are really sensitive. One to really get the right timing and the opportunity, and second is actually how to run and manage that business. So what are we going to cover this webinar? I'll give you a little brief about Franchise India if you don't know Franchise India. So I'll give you a little brief on Franchise India. I'll also talk about a little bit about my journey, how I started this business and what I'm been doing for last especially 25 odd years. Then we'll get on to today's webinar. We'll talk about 6 odd aspects. First, we'll talk about the mindset. Very, very important how you set your mindset for your entrepreneurial journey. That's what we're going to talk about. Then we get on to a little bit on selection of business, how you really select the right business. Third, I get a lot of questions, people asking me and say, should I do my own startup or buy a franchise? So we will discuss on, is it right to buy your a franchise or do your own startup? You build your own brand and build your own idea. Then if you really want to do that, the fourth point would be, if you're choosing a franchise, what kind of franchise you can do that. And then we'll get on to the journey to build the business which can be successful for you, how you really phase it out, your business journey. And finally, because every Sunday we do something special, so we'll talk about a little bit on the master franchise opportunities and how you really select the right master franchise. So friends, you can use the Q&A box. There is a Q&A box at the bottom. If you're logged in from phone, laptop, or any other device, there is a Q&A box you can see. You can click that and ask your questions. So I'll keep taking your questions as it come along. And this would not only benefit you, but it will also benefit other attendees also. They can also learn from your questions. So you make it very interactive. So you use as many questions comes to your mind. It can be on business model. It can be an opportunity which you're considering. Anything which comes to your mind, just keep asking on the Q&A box. So let's get started. Let me start with my journey. So I started my career in 95 with telecom. And that time telecom was just happening. In 95, it was just opening up of GSM technology. And I feel my timing was perfect, because that time, I always say that you join any industry when the industry is just going to happen. You cannot not go wrong. I mean, you will ride that industry, so you always have to see what is the next big thing happening. So my case, it has always been that all my businesses which got successful, I would really credit to my timing. So my timing was right, so I was able to get that business right. So in 95, I started telecom and build a successful business. And in between, I did many other businesses which were not successful. And I want to particularly mention that, because a lot of times you get into businesses with just impulsiveness and no focus, no planning, and you fail. So a lot of businesses, when I had a very successful telecom business, post that I've invested into many businesses which just came around, and they were not successful. And most of them had very part attention from my side. I was not putting my deep focus on the business. And I quickly realized that this is something which is not right. I need to really get focused on what I want to achieve. And then I started a company called Franchise India. It was started in 98, 99. And the idea was to build India's first start your own business platform. If anybody wanted to buy a business, like I used to look at newer opportunities, and it was very, very difficult to find what is the right opportunity for you. And I felt that there are only so many people out there who are facing the same problem I am facing. That there is no organization, there is no institution, there is no consultants, there is no platform which can help you choose the right business. Even in those days, if you want to read the business newspaper like Economic Times or Financial Times and things of that nature, so they would all talk about the larger businesses, or you can talk about some commodities and other things, but nothing for a small business owner who wants to start a business. And that problem to me looked a very, very big opportunity. And I felt that if I can start an enterprise which can help people to get into business or choose the right business, this can be a right meaningful work. So Franchise India was born with that idea. And today we're very proud that we're not only the largest company in India, but we are the largest franchise solution company in the world. So we have 1,200 people, 97 cities in India operations, and 6 overseas countries. So this has been a journey of Franchise India, and this has not been a journey for a few years. This has been a long 25 odd years of journey, from running magazines to running exhibitions, forums, conferences. As we speak today, I have about 5 cities in India where there is a franchise show going on. And if you've not attended any of Franchise India's shows, I will encourage you. There is a lot of shows happen around you, around your cities, where you can go and meet a lot of opportunities, meet a lot of businesses, and see what is right for you. So let's get started for today's webinar. First is the mindset. A lot of people who come to Franchise India or otherwise looking at an opportunity. I'll give you an example. In the last 2 years since COVID was going on, we did these webinars, and over 1 million, over 10 lakh people attended webinars of Franchise India. But do these all 10 lakh people end up buying a business? Answer is no. Only maybe 5% would have benefited. The rest were not able to take a decision to start the business, which means 95% of people came to these webinars exploring an opportunity, but never took the decision to start a business, because they were not able to make a right decision, because they were not confident enough. They had a lot of confusion, and they also didn't want to take too much of risk. So even now, if I see this Sunday morning, a lot of people have joined in, and some of you would end up taking a business decision. A lot of you would still not take a decision. And this really is about the mindset. Everybody aspires to become an entrepreneur, but very few become entrepreneurs. And second, out of that, a very, very few become successful entrepreneurs. So you have to really see what makes a difference to become an entrepreneur, and second, to become a successful one. It actually starts with the mindset. So this really brings me to the first question I would ask. And I would like, honestly, everyone should really answer that question on the Q&A box. Is that, what is your mindset? How many of you have decided that you would like to start your business in 60 to 90 days or 120 days or 150 days? The question is that, do you have a date in mind when you want to really start a business? And if you don't have a date in mind, then also you can mention that you're not sure, you're just exploring. Go in the Q&A box and give me an honest answer. How many of you have a particular date in mind when you want to really start a business? And I encourage everyone to answer that, because even if you don't have the date, or if you have a firm date, that most welcome. If you don't have that, then also you go out and mention in the Q&A box that you're not too sure, you're exploring, or any other thing comes to your mind. Use the Q&A box and give me an answer. I'm waiting for an answer for somebody who has the date in a particular date in mind, that I want to start my business. Some very few people I have done these webinars and seminars. Give me a firm date. Now also a lot of people would be exploring, thinking about it, but nobody would be having a particular date. Let me see. Akash says, I want to do a business as soon as possible. Right? So I congratulate Akash that out of so many people who joined in, you are the one who really interacted. But again, in your case also, as soon as means that you're not very sure about a particular date. This is the real problem. People explore opportunities, but they don't have timeline. Yesterday, I was in my Chandigarh office. 4 young people came and they started exploring, can we do this? Can we do that? And I said, before you start thinking about what you can do, tell yourself that you want to really start something on this particular date. Because if you don't have even a date in place, you will not progress towards it. And your dream would never be fulfilled. So smart people really set that date in mind before they even step into their entrepreneurial journey. So I would encourage all of you today, if you really want to make this day meaningful and your time worthwhile, and you genuinely feel that you want to get into entrepreneurial journey, put that date in mind. It can be something maybe next year, maybe your mother's birthday, your wife's birthday, or your child's birthday, anything which comes to your mind, put that date and start working towards that date so that you are able to achieve that goal and that structure. I further define the date into D stands for discipline. Unless and until you start your discipline journey towards entrepreneurship, it will not work. A stands for accountability. You need to set yourself accountable for every action you want to take. T stands for training. This is very important. If you want to become an entrepreneur, you need to train yourself to be an entrepreneur. All our education is to be trained to be working for somebody else, not to become an entrepreneur. That's the pretty part of this. This is not the education you want if you want to become an entrepreneur. Entrepreneur, you need to train yourself in many skills. You be multitasking. You need to understand how you manage your cash flows. All that has to be done in your training. And last E stands for how you encourage every single day, because you want to be alone in this journey of entrepreneurship. So you need to encourage yourself that you are able to take that. So put that date, define your date, and then you can get started. The second step in your mindset is to set your life goals. What is your life goals? Like Akash is there. Akash has to ask himself that, what is my life goal? I congratulate Akash. I think 7th July is anniversary. And that's it. You most happy to see that you have set your mindset. 7th July is your date, and best wishes from my side. Any help I can do, I'll be more than happy to do that. So if say Akash is now set it up himself for 7th July, now he wants to set his business goals, and he wants to also get them equated with his life goals. What is going to happen in his 5 to 10 years? What are the major events going to happen in his life, and how his business goals can achieve his life goals? That's very important. Sometimes people get into business. A lot of people come to me and say, suggest me a great business with a great ROI. I say, what does mean by great ROI? Because ROI can be very subjective, and every person has a different goal. So unless and until you understand your own life goals, you will never be able to set your business according to that. And that's what people do. I mean, look at people who have been very successful. We have business icons like Dhirubhai and a lot of other people. Their life goals were very big. Because their life goals were very big, their entrepreneurial journey or their business goals also started matching that. They were very ambitious. They wanted to achieve things much faster. They had great execution capabilities. They were always attempting big risk because their life goals were very big. So depending on where your life goals are, you need to really set your business model accordingly. Second, you need to also ask yourself, what is your risk appetite? What is your risk appetite? Are you a high risk person? Or you are at a stage you can take high risk? Or you are a mid risk? Or you are an absolutely low risk person? So if you are, say, professional coming out of a job, you don't want to take too much of risk. You want to start for stabilizing your basic income. You need to match what is your market worth with your business, giving that same thing to you. You need to first hire yourself and say, my business can pay same money which others were paying to me. So a lot of these professionals are very low risk at this stage. So depending on where you are in your journey, you can define. And it's also age. It's also about responsibilities. So depending on what stage you are and what kind of risk you need to take, then only it will work. So ask yourself, what is your risk appetite? Third thing, ask yourself, what are the resources available with you? And it's not just money. Money is a very small part of it. What other resources you have? How much time you can put to your business? Who else is coming to your business? What kind of skills you have in past which can complement the future business you want to do? All that is very, very important. And finally, understand the purpose and the problem solving which you want to really do. If you don't have something much bigger which you want to solve, your business would not really be that big. So you need to really understand that what is the problem solving you want to do, and also ask yourself where you live and what kind of environment you have and what problem is this and how big is this opportunity for you. So what is the total addressable market where you're getting into? And this is where point number 2 really starts: how to choose the right business. Choosing the right business, you need to connect 4 dots. First dot is the industry. Why you're choosing that industry? What does this industry look like in next 5-10 years? That's very, very important. Some industries have a very strong future. Like somebody came to me and said, get me a auto dealership. I say, which one do you want? You want an electric dealership or you want a conventional company's dealership? Because the conventional businesses might not stay, and some companies don't have build their capabilities of electric vehicles. Some bigger companies like Tata Motors or Mahindra and other people have built that. But I know a lot of companies which have not built those capabilities, and they would be left behind because the future is electric. So you need to really understand what kind of industry you're getting into, what kind of opportunity you're selecting, why you're selecting that industry, what is happening in the industry globally, what is happening in India, and what would happen in your market. Then only you really shortlist the right industry. And this is where Franchise India works: a lot of research papers, a lot of information. Then only we suggest a couple of industries to an individual that this might be the right industry for you to look at it. Once you've chosen the industry, then you need to really match what opportunity or a brand you want to select. Why you're selecting that brand over other brands available. So that's also very important, because unless and until you understand the competition mapping, you understand competitive advantage of that particular brand versus other brands, you will not be able to do that. Third is the financial performance of that business. What is the financial performance? What is the past history of that business? Unless and until you understand the past history, you cannot bring the predictability of what it's going to look like. And finally is the research on the micro market which you want to run. So if I want to run a business in Chandigarh, then I need to understand what is Chandigarh all about. What is the micro competition available? Who are the players doing better in the same industry with a similar kind of brand? Why do you think you would be able to take business from them to you? What is the shift of that customer and why that shift would happen? So unless you connect these 4 dots, you're not able to shortlist what is the right opportunity. Now, the third point is startup versus a franchise. Should you do a startup or a franchise, or where the value is built? Actually, value is built on both sides. Startup gives you an opportunity, freedom to bring your ideas and do that. But it also brings in a lot of responsibility that you need to make everything happen. And if you don't have experience, I would not encourage you to do startups, because startup means that you are from an idea to creating an enterprise, everything you want to do that, and you don't have experience. And if you're not adequately funded, it can take a very long gestation period before you can make sense out of it. So I will then recommend franchise, because you're going with something which is proven, some brand is already established, and a lot of hand-holding would happen. So your gestation levels would come down. But if you have that gestation and you feel that you are very confident about the idea, or your skill sets are ready to take your own entrepreneurial journey, then you can choose a startup. So this is a very important decision which everybody has to do. But if you don't come with the experience, I would normally recommend a franchise, because 40 to 50% of all business startups are people who have never done business in past. So they are first-time business owners. So they need to maybe go with the franchise. Franchise also gives you a great opportunity to leverage. Even larger companies, if you look at Jubilant Foods, which is a master franchise for Domino's, is a successful company, public listed, very strong market capitalization. All that because if Jubilant would have thought that they would create their own pizza brand, they would never be here. So sometimes it's great to go with something which is already proven, and then it's your ambition how big you want to do that. So that's one of the areas which you can do. And once you have decided that you want to do a franchise, then choosing a right franchise is very important. How you choose the right franchise? What is the company you are selecting? Why are you narrowing down to a particular company? Who's the founder of that company? What is the business model they have? What is the financial model they have? What is the past performance of their franchises? What kind of contract and terms they are giving you? What is the period of that contract? All that is very, very important. But the most important thing is the support and the training which they're going to provide. What kind of support you can expect? Every franchise, while you get a brand from somebody, but is independently owned, independently operated. So unless and until company provides you adequate support, that you understand everything about that business and you're ready to run and manage that business, it will not work. And a lot of entrepreneurs also come to us and say, I want to invest into business, but I don't want to run, or I don't want to give too much of time. I don't advise them to get into business. And if you have that money, go better invest into any kind of a stock of a blue chip company. You're better off than that. But if you want to get into an active business, you need to be active in that. Otherwise, there are many other businesses which are out there. Go and invest into any of the Tata Enterprise and buy shares from them. You will be better off. But you cannot invest into an active business without having your active role or participation into that. So that's very, very important. I know a lot of people get disappointed. A lot of entrepreneurs get disappointed and sometimes not guided right by the franchise companies, because they would overcommit that you just invest, rest we will look after, and you will make money. And they will go out and invest without thinking into the business. So even if your company you selected is not right and you understand to run a business, you still would be able to take it off. I know a lot of examples where the parent company was not good or rather closed, but the franchisee still runs and operates a business. Long time back, we did a chocolate brand and we franchised in Hyderabad. That franchisee is still strong. They run rather 5 locations in Hyderabad, but the company is actually shut. So sometimes if you learn the business well and you're a good operator, you still continue. You're not really dependent on how your franchise company is performing. If the franchise company is also performing, the brand is growing, it obviously complements you. So once you have selected the right opportunity, done the right contracts, then you start your entrepreneurial journey into 4 phases. First phase is foundation. Foundation is the very, very important, or incubation of your own business model. This is a very careful time. The first 3 to 4 months, you need to be extremely, extremely careful, not overspend, keep it tight, keep it bootstrap, learn every single department in your business, unless and until business start getting into the stage 2, which is what I call stability. Stability is where your team is stable, your cash flows are stable, there is predictability has come in, you understand the business, some kind of processes, systems have been put. That's a stage 2. Third stage, which is exciting stage, is growth, where you want to really grow the business. And that's where you go and experiment, do large marketing. And the fourth stage is sustainability, where the business can run now without you, which means that business has now become process driven. You have a good leadership team, or some people who are now very, very stable with you. So always do these 4 cycles, never rush into that. You cannot get into sustainability unless and until you've done the first 3. And when you are build sustainability, then you have opportunities to either exit for profit or even multiply the same opportunity and to the next level. So this is what really is the journey of a business. My final part for today's webinar is a master franchise. How you choose the right master franchise. If you're choosing a master franchise, normally master franchise would run country to country rights, where somebody duplicate the same capability with the parent company has. But India is a very large country, so you also get a lot of area franchise opportunity, or what I call the regional master franchise opportunity. So you need to really select that one. It is a very long-term process. Second, it has additional responsibilities. It's just not running a business, but it's also your biggest responsibility becomes the network growth, how you build and grow the network in the region. And also has a capability to support further franchisees if you have rights of sub-franchise. So master franchise is not just a short-term strategy, unless and until you think about building a business or the brand over next 10 to 15, 20 years. That's what the master franchise strategy is. Today, we have a lot of domestic homegrown companies which are giving area or a master franchise, and we have also a lot of global companies. We have over 200 brands which are available for a great master franchise opportunity. And sometimes people think that it's very expensive to buy a master franchise. Answer is no. If you take our rights for, say, only for a Delhi NCR for a company and build the entire business in Delhi NCR, it can be very meaningful business, and it can also come at a very, very reasonable price. So if you are looking to really start any master or area franchise, Franchise India has a special team which works with you to really select the right area franchise, works with you to negotiate right, put the right legal structure and legal contracts and commercial contracts. So this is what, friends, today's webinar was. And I will also encourage you, if you not become member with Franchise India, we have a program called Advantage. And this program we carefully designed because we used to get a lot of people who come to us, but they need more help. They need help in terms of right selection. They need help in the right legal structure. They need to also need help in terms of negotiating the right deal with the company. And this is done by our senior consultants. We have very, very senior consultants in the team. Once you become member with Franchise India, we help you in terms of choosing the right opportunity and taking that opportunity ahead with you. So thank you very much for coming and joining on this Sunday morning webinar. And I hope I was able to add some value in giving you some insight. But you should reach out to us and set up an appointment, and our consultants would give you a no obligation, maybe 45-minute one-on-one session with you to help you what businesses you can choose, how you should choose the right business, and also help you in a lot of other things, which securing funding or even negotiating the right structure. So thank you very much. Enjoy your Sunday, and please reach out to us if you have any questions. I will also put my direct email ID. If you have any questions for me, or you want me to send you some more information, some white papers or anything which you require, please reach out to at gm@gauravmarya.com. It's very simple, gm@gauravmarya.com. You can just send me a quick mail, and we will then try to set up even one-on-one discussion to help you out in your thinking process toward your entrepreneurial journey. Thank you very much. Thanks for your time today.